Next up is the chief of a Louisiana town named Tim Lentz. He posted on Facebook and pretty much explained why he put "In God We Trust" on police officer vehicles. As he stated on Facebook, "As I was sitting in church last week, I said a prayer for the safety of all my officers and officers across the country. While in church, I recalled a movement sweeping across the country with different law enforcement agencies where they would place a decal on the back of their patrol cars with the motto, 'In God We Trust.' So when I got back to the office, I did a little research and learned that in 1956, President Eisenhower signed into law a bill that declared 'In God We Trust' a national motto. The phrase then appeared on our coinage where it still resides today. I also found an Attorney General's opinion out of Texas where Attorney General Patton, 11415, opined displaying 'In God We Trust' on police vehicles is a passive use of a motto steeped in our nation's history that does not coerce citizen approval or participation. I would surmise that if an opinion was sought from our Louisiana Attorney General, he would declare the same. Over the next couple days, I sought the opinion of people whom I have tremendous respect for, religious leaders and officers. Each, without fail, expressed their overwhelming support. I was touched when one of my officers said it succinctly, "Chief, I pray when I go to work every day." Well, that's good for you and good for your officer, I guess. But that doesn't mean that every single officer on your force is religious. And for you to put this on there, while people may not have a problem with it, like people like the judges and whatnot, they seem to have this weird idea that it doesn't violate the First Amendment. It actually fucking does. What kind of messages are you sending to those who don't believe in a Christian God? Because that's what "In God We Trust" really means, right? I mean, it doesn't mean just a deistic type of God, which a lot of people like to say that it's just a random, up in the air kind of God, a more deist type of God. No, what does it mean? It's a Christian God. That's what it means. So, what are your police cars and your police officers now saying to those that they are supposed to police? If somebody doesn't happen to pray or believe in your specific type of God, should they have to worry? Should they have to worry that because they believe differently than your entire police force, or at least that's what you're making it seem to be, that they're not going to get a fair shake whenever they get pulled over by the cops? Maybe you pull an atheist over and you want to teach him the love of God by giving him a ticket. Maybe you pull over a Muslim and, hey, fuck them Muslims, right? Fuck Islam, fuck Islam, fuck Islam. He posted that on Facebook, and so of course he got some negative opinions. This one in particular is one that I was wanting to read. "I am a New Orleans resident and can tell you that making this divisive decision is not right. These are not your vehicles. They belong to the public taxpayers who paid for them. The Christians, the Muslims, the Jews, the Wiccans, the Satanists, and the Atheists. You are passively telling members of your community that you are not there for them. Wear your cross under your uniform. Put whatever you want on your personal vehicles. But don't deface public property in some misguided attempt to curry favor from your God." Now, I wholly agree with this person that, doing this is really casting aside the non-Christian portion of your community. But not only that, you're basically taking the First Amendment, you're wiping your ass with it. That dirty, stinky Louisiana ass that you have. You're just taking it, you're wiping it, you're getting all that swamp ass all over it, and then you're tossing it on the ground, is what you're doing. Now, you don't want you don't want religion to be in charge here. Just let me reassure you, okay? We don't want God to be so severely relevant to our police force, because when you have that, then which God exactly are you going to enforce? Are you going to enforce the God as described by Baptists? Are you going to enforce the God described by Catholics? Are you going to enforce the God described by Puritans? Are you going to enforce the God described by Calvinists? I mean, which particular flavor of this Abrahamic God are you going to instantiate? Which particular flavor of it? I would also like for you to point out to me where in your laws it says that we can't make graven images of God, where we have to keep the Sabbath holy. Those are those are two of the first four 10 commandments that are not even law. In fact, 10 of the 10 commandments, only 2 of those motherfuckers are laws. Don't steal shit and don't murder people. So I would love for you to actually substantiate where you get that God is so fucking relevant to your job that you have to put him on public property. You didn't personally buy those police vehicles, now did you? No, you didn't. You didn't at all. My guess is that you use public money, because guess what? They're publicly owned vehicles. Now, what's interesting is what he actually said to a local newspaper. The response I've received has been overwhelmingly positive, Lentz said. Several trolls on social media had negative things to say. We did research on them, and many of them were from other parts of the country. Okay. As far as this goes, I don't understand what that has to do with anything. I really don't, because this is a First Amendment issue. This is federal law. This applies to every single goddamn state, every single goddamn law enforcement official out there. It's not just for you. If we just enacted shit that only directly applied to the community, like let's say for instance that your whole community is Christian, well, guess what? Here in America, we can't have a city that is strictly only Christians. Like we can't have a city that says, haha, welcome to Christianabad. Only Christians here are only Christians are allowed to live here. If you're not Christian, get the fuck out. You can't have that. I don't know if that's what you're trying to do, but if you are, you're a pretty big dickhead there, Tim Lentz.